Welcome to the deep dive, where we cut through the noise and get straight to the powerful insights hidden in truly profound sources. Today, we're doing something truly special. We're embarking on a rare and invaluable exploration into the timeless wisdom tucked away in the old, revered recordings of Sri Swami Vishnu Tirth Ji Maharaj's Bhagavad Gita Pravachan. For you, our dear Gurujans and Sadhaks, this deep dive is specifically crafted to breathe new life into these foundational teachings that illuminate the very heart of our parampara.
Indeed, these aren't just, historical lectures to be admired from afar. They are direct transmissions of spiritual truths, potent insights that, until now, have often been challenging to access. Maybe because of their age or the original language barriers or even just the quality of the recordings themselves.
Right.
So our mission today is to gently polish these gems, making them accessible and profoundly relevant for your spiritual practice. Doesn't matter if you're a Gurujan guiding others or a sadhak immersed in your personal journey inward. This effort, you see, it's deeply rooted in our commitment to preserving and sharing the unbroken stream of wisdom that flows through our lineage. It's really a heartfelt service to our own guru, said Guru Hagi, ensuring these insights continue to light the way for generations to come.
That's why this is such a powerful undertaking. We're going to unpack Swamiji's core messages on the intricate nature of the self, the fundamental dynamics of action and its consequences, and the clear path to true liberation.
Yeah.
Think of this as a direct conduit, maybe a clear channel straight into the living heart of our parampara's wisdom. It's a shortcut, not to effort, of course, but to understanding principles that are absolutely foundational for inner growth and ultimate realization. We'll be drawing directly from his Bhagavad Gita Pravachan recordings, specifically parts 1 through 8, to give you a comprehensive yet concise understanding of his profound insights. Let's begin.
Okay, let's unpack this crucial first step, our inner landscape. We often hear the phrase, control your mind, but, well, it feels like trying to catch smoke sometimes, doesn't it? Swami Vishnu Tirth Ji dives deep into this man, the mind itself. What does he tell us about its fundamental nature that makes it so elusive, and why is understanding this so crucial for our spiritual journey?
Swamiji really hones in on the mind. It's essentially the command center of our human experience, isn't it? He emphasizes his incredible dual nature. On one hand, when the mind is uncontrolled, it becomes this relentless source of suffering, distraction, endless inner chatter.
Yeah.
Think of it like a wild, untamed animal constantly pulling us in different directions, jumping from regrets about the past to anxieties about the future, rarely resting in the present.
Totally. This internal agitation can make even the calmest external environment feel chaotic. But, and this is where the hope lies, when that same mind is disciplined, when it's consciously guided and trained, it transforms. It becomes an incredibly powerful ally for spiritual progress, a finely tuned instrument capable of deep concentration, profound insight, and unwavering inner peace.
So it's about transforming it, not just suppressing it.
Exactly. It's the difference between a scattered, anxious mind and a focused, serene one. Drawing from his Pravachan recordings, particularly part 1 and 2, Swamiji highlights the mind's constant activity and its profound role in shaping our perception of reality. He introduces 2 fundamental modes of how our mind operates, Sankalpa and Vikalpa.
Okay, Sankalpa and Vikalpa.
Right. Imagine Sankalpa as a clear, positive resolve or intention, like when you decide, today I will sit for meditation for 30 minutes, or I will approach this challenge with optimism. It's a constructive, directing force.
Got it. The positive intention.
On the other hand, Vikalpa represents doubt, wavering, negative thoughts, or indecision. It's that subtle whisper that says, can I really do this? What if I fail? Or maybe I'm too tired today. Our inner dialogue, as you know, is often a continuous tug of war between these two.
Yeah, I feel that all the time.
We all do. Swamiji makes it profoundly clear that our inner state of mind, whether Smakalpa or Vikalpa predominates, directly influences not just our personal experience, but also how we perceive and interact with our external reality. If your mind is consumed by Vikalpas, everything outside can appear challenging or negative. But a mind steeped in Sankalpas can find opportunity even in adversity. It's a powerful reminder that our reality is, well, to a large extent, an internal construct.
That interplay between resolve and doubt, it's almost like a constant internal tug of war. Swamiji presents this not just as something to observe, but as a critical area for mastery. How does understanding these modes of mind become a truly practical necessity for our daily inner peace and decision-making, especially for us as sadhaks?
Oh, it's absolutely not abstract. It's profoundly practical. This understanding highlights that mastery over the mind isn't merely some philosophical concept, but an urgent necessity for inner peace and, frankly, effective living. It's about recognizing that constant internal dialogue we all experience and consciously choosing the path of clarity and purpose.
Choosing the path.
Yes. For Gurujans, understanding this deeply is invaluable in guiding sadhaks who are struggling with mental agitation. You can maybe pinpoint whether they're overwhelmed by vikalpas or perhaps lacking strong sankalpas. For sadhaks, this understanding offers the very first crucial step towards self-mastery. It empowers you to observe your thoughts rather than being swept away by them.
Observing, not identifying.
Precisely, allowing you to consciously steer your mind towards positive intentions and focus. Think of it as developing an inner compass. When you realize that your mind, with its sankalpas and vikalpas, is actively shaping your perceived reality, you gain the profound power to change that reality simply by changing your mind's direction. It's about becoming the architect of your inner world.
Here's where it gets really interesting and maybe a bit challenging. Swamiji delves into concepts like ahamkar, the ego, and maya, illusion. These are profound spiritual principles that can often feel elusive. How does he explain them in a way that helps us truly connect with them, not just intellectually, but in our lived experience?
Right, these are big ones. Swamiji presents ahankar as the false sense of individual identity, that pervasive feeling of I being separate from everything else.
The sense of me.
Exactly. It's that deep-seated belief that I am this body, I am these thoughts, I am this job title, I am this personality. This ego, this sense of a distinct, separate me, is in turn deeply intertwined with Maya. Maya is the cosmic illusion that creates the perception of duality and separateness in the world around us.
Like a veil.
Kind of. Or think of Maya like a highly realistic virtual reality game. You put on the headset and suddenly you're entirely immersed. You feel the thrill of winning, the sting of defeat, the attachment to your virtual possessions. But, intellectually, it's just a game, a projection. Swamiji says our entire perceived reality is like that. Maya makes us forget we're the player, not just the avatar.
Wow.
Yeah. It makes the temporary challenges and triumphs of this world feel absolutely permanent and all-consuming, causing much of our suffering. From his recordings, particularly Part 5, Swamiji paints a vivid picture of Maya's pervasive influence, how it subtly shapes our perceptions and experiences, often obscuring the true, unified nature of reality. We see the world as a collection of separate objects and individuals, myself, my family, my possessions, my problems, rather than as a seamless, interconnected whole.
Separation.
And he goes on to explain that suffering arises precisely from this deep identification with the ego, with ahamkar, and the illusions created by Maya. When we cling strongly to our limited self, we become incredibly vulnerable to the ups and downs of this illusory world. If I am this body, then I will inevitably suffer when the body experiences pain or decay. If I am these possessions, then I will suffer when they are lost.
Makes sense.
This also connects back to earlier hints in Part 1, where Swamiji speaks of moha, or attachment, and mamta, which is possessiveness. These are direct products of this egoic identification and the illusory nature of worldly connections. We become intensely attached to things, people, even ideas, thinking they are mine or ours, when in reality, everything in this material world is transient and part of Maya's play.
Possessiveness, yeah.
The suffering arises when we cling to these temporary constructs as if they were eternal and truly ours. It's the digital Maya of our modern age, maybe, making temporary likes feel like ultimate validation and fleeting dislikes feel like existential threats.
It's fascinating how deeply ingrained these illusions can be. It's not just external circumstances causing our pain, but this internal misidentification. For someone just beginning to grasp this, what's the very first crack in the facade that Swamiji helps us see, that initial aha moment?
That's a great question. And it's where the rubber meets the road, right? The aha moment often comes from recognizing how everyday attachments, even to abstract ideas or fleeting possessions, can powerfully trap the mind and cause disproportionate suffering. For instance, consider how deeply we might identify with a particular opinion or a political viewpoint.
Oh, yeah.
If someone challenges it, our ahamkar feels directly threatened, and we can experience intense discomfort, anger, or defensiveness as if our very existence is being attacked. This is Maya at play, creating the illusion that my opinion is me, and any threat to it is a threat to my entire being. Swamiji's teaching suggests these are all aspects of Maya's pervasive play, not external realities that objectively cause suffering.
So it's the identification causing the pain.
Largely, yes. Or think about holding on to an old grievance. The I feels wronged, and it clings to that feeling, perpetuating suffering year after year. Is the ahamkar identifying with the past pain, fueled by moha and mamta, towards the idea of being right or wronged? Recognizing these subtle ways ego and illusion operate can be a profound aha moment for you as sadhaks. It helps you identify the root causes of many internal struggles, whether it's anxiety over perceived failure, persistent anger at perceived injustice, or a pervasive sadness over loss.
Seeing the root cause.
By understanding that these are largely products of a false identification with the transient, you gain a clear path to transcend them. You begin to see that true peace doesn't come from changing the external world to suit your ego, but from shifting your internal perspective and lessening the grip of ahamkara and maya. This realization, in turn, liberates a tremendous amount of energy previously spent on maintaining those illusions, redirecting it towards genuine spiritual growth and inner freedom within our pranapara's practices.
So, with our minds often chaotic and our ego and illusion playing their tricks, how do our senses fit into this inner landscape? It feels like they're constantly pulling us outwards, demanding attention. How do we manage their incessant demands, as Swamiji explains?
Swamiji clarifies that the senses, what he terms indriya, are the fundamental channels through which the external world interacts with our inner self. They are the gateways. Sights, sounds, smells, tastes, and touch flow into our consciousness through them.
The 5 gateways.
Exactly. The profound challenge, he explains, lies in their inherent, almost automatic tendency to pull our attention outwards, to constantly seek gratification from external objects. This outward pull causes constant distraction and prevents us from achieving inner peace and a stable meditative state. Think about it. How easily our attention is captured by a notification on your phone, or a delicious aroma drifting from a kitchen, or an engaging conversation nearby. Each of these pulls our precious energy and focus away from our internal state. From his teachings, particularly again in Part 5, Swamiji emphasizes the vital necessity of bringing the senses under conscious control to redirect energy inwards.
Conscious control.
Yes. He highlights the constant subtle battle against external stimuli and how reacting automatically to these stimuli relentlessly depletes our spiritual energy. If your senses are perpetually engaged with the outside world, jumping from one stimulus to another, your internal reservoir of peace and focus quickly diminishes. It makes deeper spiritual practice nearly impossible. While he may not name it explicitly in these specific excerpts, the concept of pratyahara, the withdrawal of the senses from their objects, is clearly implied as absolutely crucial for achieving a stable inner state, a state of mind where dhyan, or true meditation, can actually begin. It's about consciously disengaging from the incessant sensory input that bombards us throughout the day.
This isn't about suppressing the senses or living in some kind of sensory deprivation chamber, is it? It sounds more like mastering them, like consciously choosing where to place your attention rather than being driven by external pulls. It sounds like a proactive approach rather than a reactive one, a vital step in our sadhana.
Exactly right. It's not about denying the senses their function or becoming insensitive to the world around us. It's about cultivating indriya nigra, which means sense control, being the master of your senses rather than their passive slave.
The master, not the slave.
Instead of automatically reacting to every external stimulus, you develop the capacity to consciously choose what you engage with and when. This proactive approach is foundational. For you, as sadhaks, Swamiji's teachings imply that daily practices to withdraw the senses, even momentarily, are crucial for cultivating inner quietude and strengthening the mind's focus.
How would that look practically?
Well, for instance, when you sit for meditation, instead of immediately trying to silence the mind, maybe gently acknowledge the sounds around you, the traffic, a bird singing outside, then consciously, softly, pitch attention inward to your breath or to a specific internal sensation or mantra, as taught in our parampara. You're not fighting the sound, you're simply choosing not to engage with it, allowing it to fade into the background as you focus elsewhere.
Ah, subtle shift.
It is. That subtle shift is pratyahara in action, reclaiming your attention. Even during your daily activities, it means cultivating mindfulness, performing tasks with full awareness without being distracted by peripheral sensory input, like the chatter of a busy office or the allure of your phone. This disciplined practice isn't about escaping the world. It's about building an inner sanctuary, a space of calm and unwavering focus that is unaffected by the external world, which is absolutely vital for any deeper spiritual practice and for preparing the mind for samadhi. It's a profound shift from being externally driven to internally directed.
Moving on from the inner landscape to our actions in the world, Swamiji seems to emphasize a deep, inescapable connection between what we do and what comes back to us. He speaks about the fundamental principle of karma. What is this universal law that he illuminates for us, and how does it extend beyond just simple cause and effect?
Swamiji explains that the law of karma is indeed an inescapable universal principle.
Yeah.
Every action, every karma, inevitably generates a corresponding result, or foul. This isn't merely a simple physical law like Newton's third law, but extends profoundly to our thoughts and intentions as well.
Thoughts too. Wow.
Yes. Swamiji makes it clear that even subtle mental actions, like harboring a strong desire or aversion, create a subtle yet powerful chain reaction. What we think, what we say, and what we do all contribute to this cosmic ledger. And these actions, whether seemingly insignificant or grand, will inevitably bear their fruit. From the recordings, particularly parts 1 and 3, Swamiji reiterates the inescapable nature of this law, suggesting that no action, good or bad, goes without a consequence. He emphasizes that this concept extends far beyond a single lifetime, hinting at accumulated karmic imprints, what we call samskara, across various existences. This implies that some of our present circumstances, our innate tendencies, our joys, our challenges, are not just random occurrences, but are the fruition of past actions, whether from this life or previous ones.
That's deep.
It is. And likewise, our present actions are continuously sowing seeds for future experiences, perhaps even in future lives. This understanding places a profound emphasis on individual responsibility for one's actions and their future outcomes. It means we are not passive recipients of fate, merely spectators to what happens to us. No, we're active creators of our destiny through the conscious choices we make, moment by moment, breath by breath. It puts the power squarely in our hands.
So understanding karma isn't about fatalism, about just accepting whatever happens because it's destiny, which can sometimes be a common misconception. It sounds much more like empowerment, recognizing that we hold the power to shape our future through conscious action in the present. Is that how Swamiji truly intends for us to understand it?
Exactly. It's about profound empowerment, not fatalism. When you truly grasp the law of karma, you realize you have incredible agency. You're not merely a leaf blown by the wind, you are the one consciously planting the seeds. This understanding profoundly encourages ethical living and mindful choices, knowing that every seed planted, every thought entertained, every word spoken, and every action performed will eventually bear fruit.
Every single one.
Yes. For instance, if you consistently cultivate generosity and compassion in your interactions, you are sowing seeds for future joy, abundance, and positive relationships. Conversely, if you engage in deceit, cruelty, or selfishness, you are inevitably setting in motion a different set of consequences for your future experiences. This realization shifts your perspective from blaming external circumstances or some arbitrary fate to taking full, compassionate responsibility for your inner and outer life.
Taking responsibility.
It encourages deep introspection, a daily question perhaps. What kind of seeds am I planting today with my thoughts, words, and deeds? And it guides us instinctively toward actions that align with our highest spiritual aspirations and the values of our parampara. It's a living, dynamic principle that urges us to become conscious co-creators of our reality.
But what drives these actions, these karmas? It seems desire plays a crucial part. How does Swamiji view the role of ika, or desire, in this karmic cycle? It feels like an omnipresent force in our lives, constantly propelling us forward.
Swamiji indeed identifies desire, or ika, as a powerful fundamental motivator for human action. It's what impels us to move, to achieve, to seek. It's the engine of all worldly activity. Think of any endeavor, from the simplest daily task like getting a glass of water, to the grandest spiritual quest for liberation. There's usually a desire behind it, a yearning for something.
Right, always a motivation.
However, and this is where his teaching becomes absolutely critical for spiritual understanding, he cautions that when desires are uncontrolled, when they lead to deep attachment to outcomes, they can perpetuate a relentless cycle, a cycle of craving, action, and renewed desire, ultimately leading to profound suffering and a sense of endless dissatisfaction.
The cycle of suffering.
From his recordings, particularly parts 3 and 5, he explains ika not just as a natural human impulse, but as a potential source of deep entanglement, binding the individual to the material world, to samsara, the cycle of birth and death. It's a continuous, often exhausting cycle, and ika arises, leading to an action. That action leads to results, and our attachment, our moha to those results, or even the desire for new results, simply generates new desires.
A self-perpetuating loop.
It really is, a hamster wheel of craving. For example, you desire a new car, you work hard to get it, you acquire the car, but very quickly that initial satisfaction fades, and then you desire a better car, or the latest model, or a bigger house to park it in, or the recognition that comes with it, and so on.
Yeah, the chase never ends.
Exactly. This endless chase, fueled by iccha and moha, keeps us perpetually restless and unfulfilled, even when we achieve what we set out for. Swamiji emphasizes the profound importance of recognizing the subtle pull of desire, how it constantly influences our choices, our perceptions, and our peace of mind in order to gain true mastery over one's actions. It's about becoming aware of the underlying motivations, the hidden strings that Ika pulls.
So Swamiji's perspective isn't about eradicating desire entirely, as if we should become inert, lifeless beings. That feels impossible for most of us. It's about understanding its mechanism and preventing it from becoming a source of bondage. It sounds like cultivating wisdom to direct desires towards higher spiritual goals. What's fascinating here is, how does Swamiji suggest we navigate this intricate web of desire to truly free ourselves? And what's an ultimate aspiration for desire itself?
That's the very core of his practical teaching, and it addresses that very valid point. It's not about being inert. Swamiji's wisdom lies in transforming the nature of desire itself. Instead of desires being rooted in egoic gratification or attachment to transient worldly pleasures, they can be elevated.
Elevated how?
Elevated to a yearning for spiritual growth, for liberation, for selfless service. He teaches that Ika itself isn't the problem. It's the attachment to the fruits of Ika. This transformation is deeply connected to a central principle of the Bhagavad Gita, and indeed our parampara, performing actions without attachment to their fruits, often known as nishkama karma.
Nishkama karma.
That is the path to truly navigate and ultimately transcend the binding nature of desire.
That brings us to such a central teaching in the Bhagavad Gita, and certainly in our parampara. Swamiji stresses the importance of simply doing one's duty with dedication, irrespective of the outcome. How does this principle of nishkama karma truly liberate us from the cycle of action and desire, allowing us to act powerfully yet remain inwardly free?
This principle, elaborated beautifully in part 3 of his recordings, is truly profound and, well, revolutionary. Swamiji asserts that by consciously detaching from the results of actions, one effectively breaks the binding cycle of cause and effect that perpetuates karmic bondage and ultimately the cycle of samsara, or rebirth.
Breaks the cycle.
Yes. It's not about inaction, not about becoming passive or lazy. It's about a radical internal shift in attitude towards action itself. The emphasis is entirely on the action itself, on the purity and intention behind it, and the unwavering dedication to the task at hand, rather than the expectation of reward, recognition, praise, or any specific outcome. You do your very best, you pour your full effort into the task, but the results are surrendered, offered up. This principle teaches that true liberation comes not from idleness, but from right action performed with the right attitude. If you act with the sole purpose of doing your duty, offering your efforts to the divine, let's say, and letting go of personal desires for the fruit of that action, then the action itself, even if it has worldly consequences, does not create new karmic imprints that bind you further.
That's incredibly freeing.
It is.
Yeah.
Because it frees you from the emotional roller coaster of success and failure. When you perform an action with a strong expectation of a particular result, you tie your happiness directly to that outcome. If it succeeds, you're elated. If it fails, you're dejected, maybe even angry or depressed. Nishkama karma frees you from this oscillation, allowing for a steady, unwavering inner state, regardless of external circumstances. It's about finding fulfillment in the act of giving your best, irrespective of the applause or criticism.
This principle sounds profoundly liberating, shifting the focus from external validation or success to internal integrity and the joy of selfless action. For us, as sadhaks within the parampara, how can we truly apply nishkama karma in our daily lives beyond just a theoretical understanding? I remember once I poured my heart into organizing an event, and it poured rain all day. My immediate reaction was disappointment and self-pity. Had I truly embodied nishkama karma, how would that experience have felt different internally, even with the external downpour?
That's a perfect example, and it beautifully illustrates the practical challenge and profound potential of nishkama karma. The application for sadhaks is direct and transformative, and it applies to every facet of your life. In your example, if you had truly embodied nishkama karma, the joy and satisfaction would have come from the act of organizing the event with sincerity, dedication, and a spirit of service, regardless of the rain.
From the act itself.
Yes. The disappointment would be minimized because your happiness wasn't dependent on the weather or the turnout or the praise, but on the pure effort.
So consider applying this in your daily life, in every domain. In your professional work, perform your duties with utmost dedication and excellence, focusing on the quality of your effort, but without anxiously clinging to the hope of a promotion or fearing a setback.
Okay.
In your family life, fulfill your responsibilities as a parent, child, or partner with love, care, and full presence, but without demanding specific appreciation, reciprocity, or clinging to ideal outcomes from those relationships. In your spiritual practices, engage in meditation, japa, or selfless service with full devotion and sincerity, but without a rigid expectation of immediate spiritual experiences, particular insights, or external recognition.
Letting go of expectations.
Yes.
Exactly. The goal is to perform them with full effort, with sincerity, and as an offering to the divine within, but without the emotional highs or lows based on their outcome. This attitude cultivates a deep sense of inner peace and detachment. It allows you to act powerfully and effectively in the world, yet remain untouched by its inherent impermanence and duality. It frees up tremendous mental and emotional energy that would otherwise be consumed by worry, anticipation, or disappointment. It is a path to finding true joy in the process of action itself, rather than solely in its often unpredictable results. This also naturally fosters a profound spirit of selfless service, seva, which is indeed a cornerstone of our parampara. When you act without attachment to results, you naturally act for the greater good, seeing yourself as an instrument rather than the doer seeking personal gain.
So if the mind, ego, and desires are challenges to be navigated, and nishkama karma is our way of acting in the world, what's the definitive path forward to truly transcend them? How does Swamiji guide us towards deeper states of consciousness, especially within our own spiritual practices in the parampara?
Swamiji underscores the absolute necessity of shuddhi, or inner purification. This purification, he explains, is the prerequisite. It's the non-negotiable foundation for achieving higher states of consciousness. It's like preparing fertile ground before planting a precious seed. You must first clear the weeds, remove the debris, and enrich the soil for anything truly profound to grow.
Preparing the ground.
Exactly. Without this inner cleansing, any attempt to reach profound meditative absorption, what he calls samadhi, a state of profound inner stillness and union, will be severely hampered by mental noise, emotional turbulence, and subtle attachments. From the recordings, particularly Part 3, Swamiji describes the progressive nature of spiritual ascent, where this inner cleansing directly facilitates deeper meditative states.
Progressive ascent.
He emphasizes the critical importance of diligently overcoming mental distractions and deeply ingrained attachments as key steps in this purification process. These distractions aren't just external sounds. They are the result of accumulated impressions, or sanskara, from past experiences, and lingering desires residing within the mind itself. True spiritual progress, according to him, is directly linked to the purity of one's thoughts, emotions, and intentions.
Purity of thought.
Yes, this means consciously cultivating virtues like truthfulness, nonviolence, contentment, and self-control, and actively working to diminish negative qualities like greed, anger, envy, and ego. When the mind is purified through consistent effort, it naturally becomes calm and steady, like a still lake perfectly reflecting the clear sky. For you sadhaks, this isn't just a theoretical concept. It's the very foundation of your daily sadhana in our parampara, whether it's through specific forms of japa, particular breathing exercises like pranayama, or the focused practice of dhyan passed down to us.
Right, the core practices.
And Gurujans, this understanding equips you to observe the subtle shifts in a sadhak's inner state, guiding them more precisely on their path of purification, perhaps recognizing when they're truly ready for specific initiations within our lineage.
That truly clarifies that spiritual practice isn't just about external rituals or chanting mantras mechanically, but about a profound internal transformation, a continuous process of self-refinement. The path to samadhi is paved with self-awareness and diligent inner work.
Exactly. It's an active, ongoing process of refining your inner being, layer by layer. This purification process directly connects back to mastering the mind and senses, as we discussed earlier. When you bring your senses under conscious control, practicing pratyahara, and learn to quiet the incessant chatter of the mind, that interplay of sankalpa and vikalpa, you are actively engaging in shuddhi.
Ah, it all links together.
It does. The less distracted and agitated your mind is, the easier it becomes to focus inward and achieve deeper states of meditation. This clarity and stillness are not just pleasant states. They are essential conditions for the mind to perceive higher truths, eventually leading to samadhi, where the individual consciousness merges or realizes its inherent unity with the universal. It's a profound journey from outer engagement to inner absorption, a journey Swamiji maps out so beautifully.
Swamiji also talks about jnana knowledge and the role of spiritual practices like tapasya. often translated as austerity, and Thien, meditation. What kind of knowledge is he referring to here, and how exactly do these practices facilitate it? It sounds like there's a critical distinction he's making.
He absolutely draws a critical distinction. Swamiji defines jnana not merely as intellectual understanding or accumulating information like reading many books or memorizing scriptures, though those can be supportive. Rather, jnana is direct experiential realization of truth.
Experiential realization.
Yes. It's the profound difference between reading a detailed recipe for a cake and actually baking the cake yourself and tasting its deliciousness. True knowledge, the kind that utterly transforms your being, is born from this direct experience. He highlights that this true Gyan blossoms specifically through dedicated spiritual practices. These practices aren't just arbitrary rituals, they are the precise means to achieve that direct transformative realization.
The means to the end.
From part 6 of his recordings, he speaks about tapasya, which involves self-discipline and austerity. This isn't necessarily about extreme physical penance for the average sadhak, though it can include that. More often, especially for the householder sadhaks within our parampara, it refers to consistent effort in self-control, enduring discomfort for a higher spiritual purpose, and dedicating oneself to rigorous spiritual growth.
It's the inner fire that purifies the individual, burning away impurities, distractions, and attachments.
The inner fire. And then there's dhyan, or meditation, which is the focused concentration that leads to profound insights. Dhyan is the process of stilling the mind, focusing it on a single point or thought, allowing deeper truths to emerge spontaneously from within. Through consistent dhyan, the mind becomes sharp, clear, and steady, capable of piercing through the veils of illusion that Maya casts. The ultimate fruit of true dhyan, cultivated through these dedicated practices, is the profound realization of seeing the divine not as something external, separate from oneself or the world, but as pervading all existence.
Seeing the divine everywhere.
Residing within everything and everyone. This is the truth of Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. All this is Brahman, the ultimate reality. It's a living perception, not just a concept.
So this explains that spiritual growth is far from passive. It requires active engagement and disciplined effort. The practices are not ends in themselves, but powerful means to attain a higher state of awareness, a direct embodied experience of truth. It's about living the knowledge, not just intellectually grasping it.
Precisely. It's an active, dynamic cultivation. Consider the difference between reading about a beautiful, vast landscape and actually experiencing it. Walking through it, feeling the sun on your skin, hearing the birds, smelling the earth, feeling the ground beneath your feet. Swamiji advocates for the latter in the spiritual realm. Tapasya and dhyan are the essential tools you use to experience the spiritual landscape, to directly perceive the truths that are otherwise just abstract concepts in books.
Tools for experience.
Exactly. For sadhaks, this means unwavering consistency in your meditation practice, even when it's challenging or when the mind is restless. It means consciously practicing self-discipline in your daily life, whether it be in your speech, your diet, your routine, or how you interact with others. These efforts, small and large, accumulate to purify and refine the mind, making it a fit instrument for the direct realization of Gyan. It's through this active, disciplined striving that knowledge transforms from mere information into illuminating, liberating wisdom that reshapes your entire being.
This raises an important question. What is the ultimate goal, the pinnacle of this arduous spiritual journey that Swamiji describes, a journey through mind control, managing karma and desire, and deep inner purification? What is the ultimate aim that Gurujans and sadhaks are truly striving for in our parampara?
The ultimate aim, according to Swamiji, is the profound realization of the true Atma, the individual self or soul, and its non-difference from Paramatma, the supreme self or divine. This is the dissolving of the illusion of separateness, the recognition that the spark of divinity within each of us is not fundamentally distinct from the universal all-pervading consciousness. This culmination leads to ultimate liberation, the state of moksha.
Moksha, liberation.
From the recordings, particularly part 7 and 8, Swamiji details this profound journey from the conditioned self, bound by Hamkar and Maya, to the unconditioned eternal self. He touches upon the concept of nirakar, the formless aspect of the divine, and akar, the divine with form aspects, and the profound understanding that both are merely manifestations of the one ultimate reality.
Form and formless.
Right. Whether you perceive God as a personal deity, a loving guru, or as an abstract, formless principle, both are valid paths that eventually lead to the same recognition of Paramatma. The pinnacle of this journey is the experience of absolute peace, shanti, that accompanies this realization. This isn't just a temporary calm or fleeting quietude. It's a deep, unshakable tranquility that permeates one's entire being, regardless of external circumstances.
Unshakable peace.
The ultimate outcome, the crowning achievement, is moksha, liberation from the cycle of birth and death, known as samsara, and transcendence of all suffering. It's a state beyond all dualities, where the individual consciousness merges, or rather realizes its inherent eternal unity with the Supreme. It's not about going to a heavenly realm after death. It's about realizing the heaven that is already within you, the eternal freedom that is your true nature, here and now. This is the profound promise that Swamiji illuminates.
This truly sounds like the absolute pinnacle of the spiritual path. It's an invitation to recognize the divine within oneself and in all creation, leading to a profound sense of unity and boundless joy. How does this realization fundamentally change one's perspective on life, death, and the very purpose of existence? It must completely reframe everything.
It fundamentally alters everything you perceive and experience. When your Atma is truly seen and experienced as paramount, the deep-seated fear of death dissolves entirely.
No fear of death.
Because the true self is understood to be eternal, immutable, and beyond the cycles of birth and decay. The very purpose of existence shifts profoundly from material accumulation or the pursuit of temporary happiness to the ongoing experience and embodiment of this unity, this boundless peace. It leads to an unshakable inner calm, regardless of external circumstances. Imagine a deep ocean, vast and serene, completely unaffected by the waves churning on its surface. That's the shanti that arises from this realization.
Like the deep ocean.
For you, as Gurujans and Sadhaks of our parampara, this isn't a distant theoretical end goal relegated to some far-off future. It's a living truth that begins to unveil itself with every step of inner purification, every moment of detached action, every instance of focused meditation, and every sincere inquiry into the nature of I. It means beginning to see the divine in every being, in every experience, and living a life naturally imbued with compassion, wisdom, and selfless service because you perceive yourself in all others.
Seeing yourself in others.
This profound unity makes selfless service not a duty, but a spontaneous expression of love. It is the very essence of our parampara, a lineage dedicated to guiding souls, step by painstaking step, to this ultimate freedom and bliss, a truth lived and taught by masters like Swami Vishnu Tirthji, #tag the role of the guru in paramara.
For Gurujans and Sadhaks, the role of a guru is paramount. While Swamiji's teachings are profound, spiritual texts can be complex, and personal interpretation can sometimes lead us astray. What does Swamiji indicate, implicitly or explicitly, about the necessity of a guru's guidance on this path, especially for navigating these subtle spiritual truths?
You've hit on a profoundly crucial point. While Swamiji's pravachan recordings themselves serve as direct guidance in our treasure trove of wisdom, the very nature of a pravachan, a spiritual discourse, implies a lineage of wisdom transmission. These aren't just isolated thoughts or independent philosophical musings. They are part of a continuous, living flow of knowledge passed down through generations of realized masters in an unbroken chain.
The unbroken chain.
Swamiji's comprehensive teachings implicitly underscore that true inner transformation and the navigation of subtle spiritual truths often require the steady hand, the insightful wisdom, and the direct experience of a realized guru. The path to self-realization is filled with subtle pitfalls, personal delusions, and profound experiences that can be misinterpreted or even overwhelming without proper personal guidance.
Pitfalls on the path.
Definitely. From the context of his comprehensive teachings, particularly from his emphasis on overcoming inner challenges in Part 5 and the focus on ultimate liberation in Part 8, the guru acts as a powerful catalyst for inner awakening. A guru can uniquely see your inner state, identify the specific obstacles you face, and provide tailored instructions that a general discourse, however profound, cannot.
Tailored guidance.
They help to remove mental and emotional blocks, clarify complex spiritual concepts that might seem opaque in scriptures alone, and provide precise practices, like specific forms of dhyan or japa, to cut through confusion. Beyond intellectual understanding, the guru also provides a necessary spiritual energy and grace, often subtle, sometimes direct, which can be a powerful facilitator for the disciple's journey.
Grace.
Yes, jumpstarting or deepening their meditative experiences and purification process. It's about more than just teaching. It's about an energetic transmission and, crucially, a lived example. The importance of listening attentively and applying the guru's teachings with sincerity for genuine progress is paramount. The guru isn't just a teacher, they're a seasoned guide who has already traversed the entire path and can prevent the disciple from getting lost in its complexities.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this very deep dive itself is a service, bringing forward the teachings of our parampara, stretching back through gurus like Swami Vishnu Tirth, and ultimately through our own guru, Sadguru Hagi. It truly emphasizes the living nature of our lineage.
Precisely, and beautifully put. Swami Vishnu Tirthji's teachings are not just historical artifacts to be archived. They are a precious, living part of our parampara, a vibrant, unbroken stream of wisdom. This dedicated effort to revive and translate old recordings, many of which are of low audio quality or only available in languages not universally understood by all sadhaks, making them difficult to access for so many, is a direct reflection of the vital importance of preserving and transmitting the profound wisdom of the lineage.
Keeping the wisdom alive.
Exactly. It ensures that the profound insights of our gurus continue to illuminate the path for future generations of sadhaks. It's a testament to the fact that this wisdom isn't meant to be locked away in libraries or obscure archives, but to be actively shared, applied, and lived. This highlights the continuity of spiritual knowledge, how teachings flow through a parampara or lineage, maintaining their authenticity and their transformative power, because each guru has personally realized and lived these truths before passing them on to the next.
Live truth.
It's not a static body of knowledge, but a vibrant, living current that constantly adapts while retaining its core essence. It also emphasizes the sacred role of a guru bhai, a fellow disciple, in serving the guru's mission by making these timeless teachings accessible and relevant.
Yeah.
This deep dive in this very moment is an act of service, extending the guru's grace by bringing his lineage's wisdom directly to you in a digestible, engaging format.
Yeah.
It makes the parampara not just a historical chain, but a vibrant, living entity where the wisdom isn't static, but is continually brought forth and applied to contemporary needs and challenges. Our individual efforts, even this deep dive, become a part of that larger spiritual flow, enriching the collective spiritual journey of all sadhaks. Hashtag outro dive.
What an incredibly rich deep dive into the profound teachings of Sri Swami Vishnu Tirthji Maharaj. We've journeyed through the intricacies of the mind, understanding its dual nature and the constant interplay of sankalpa and vikalpa. We explored the subtle yet powerful grip of ahamkar, the ego and maya cosmic illusion, and the vital necessity of sense control, leading us to pratyahara. We then moved into the profound dynamics of action, delving into the inescapable law of karma, the entangling role of ikka or desire, and the truly liberating practice of nishkama karma.
Right.
Finally, we charted the profound journey inward, covering the absolute importance of inner purification or shuddhi, the transformative power of experiential jnana through tapasya and hyan, and the ultimate realization of atma and paramatma, culminating in moksha or ultimate liberation. All of this was guided by his timeless wisdom, drawn directly from his revered, rediscovered recordings.
These teachings, though ancient and sometimes challenging to access in their original form, they resonate with profound and immediate relevance for your spiritual practice today, whether you are a gurujan guiding others or a sadhak walking your personal path. They offer not just concepts to ponder, but practical, actionable blueprints for navigating your inner landscape, understanding the true consequences of your actions, and ultimately realizing your true, boundless nature.
Blueprints for practice.
Exactly. They illuminate a path towards a life of greater peace, purpose, and spiritual freedom, all within the living tradition of our parampara.
We truly hope this exploration has offered you not just new knowledge, but deep inspiration for your own sadhana, for your continued dedicated journey on the path that Swamiji so clearly illuminates.
We leave you with this provocative thought from the very essence of Swamiji's teachings. If the ultimate freedom and peace lies in realizing the non-duality of the individual self and the supreme self, what single conscious step can you take today? Drawing from his profound wisdom, perhaps a moment of mindful breathing, a conscious choice of action performed without attachment to its outcome, or a sincere internal inquiry into the very nature of I. What step can you take to diminish the illusion of separateness in your own experience and move just a little closer to that profound, liberating unity?
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into